our last speaker, and that is Lucas Koenig, the Chief Technology Officer at Kerber Rose. Lucas.
Thanks, Lynn. Like Lynn said, I'm the Chief Technology Officer for Kerber Rose. Kerber Rose is a tax and accounting firm. We have 12 locations throughout Northeast Wisconsin and 1 location in Marquette, Michigan. We provide tax and accounting, payroll, audit, business advisory services. We have a wealth management division. And then also, I am also the Chief Technology Officer for our Kerber Rose Technology Division, which offers, similar to Peter, we offer managed services, IT project work, cybersecurity and backup solutions, and disaster recovery planning, things like that. Next slide, please, Lynn. So one of the questions I do get a lot is, how did you get to where you're at? And I get that a lot from even people that we interview. It's a good question. I kind of wanted to break it down in more detail. I started my career actually before I even got any degrees. I was, like Peter and Brian said, a bona fide geek. I broke my parents' computer multiple times, rebuilt it, played around with different things back in the day. But my professional career started in 2003 when I applied for the associate's degree network specialist program here in Green Bay at NWTC. While I was in the associate's program, I received an internship from Shawano School District, which I'll talk about later on internships and volunteering, but was an intern there through my associate's degree program. When I finished my associate's degree, I was hired on immediately with the Shawano School District as a network technician. I worked at the Shawano School District for about 7 years. After about 3 years with the Shawano School District, I actually started up my own IT consulting business, along with my full-time job, providing similar IT project work, break fix work for small to medium-sized business throughout the Shawano and surrounding areas. I then, at the same time, worked at finishing my bachelor's degree. I was into programming and coding, was something that I was interested in. I finished my bachelor's degree in computer science from Lakeland College. And as soon as I finished that bachelor's degree, obviously I then moved up to a network administrator role with the Shawano School District. As a network administrator, I decided, the coding, the programming maybe wasn't the area. I really am one of those weird people that love meetings, love to communicate with people, like to be talking to others, and like to be in the decision-making process when it comes to technology. I really like budgeting, planning technology across multiple years. That's actually what gets me going during the day. So I went and got my master's degree in business administration, or my MBA, from Lakeland. And shortly after I got my MBA, I was hired on by Bellin College in Green Bay as their director of technology. I encourage anybody that listens to this video, if IT is not your field but nursing is, please take a look at Bellin College. It's a great facility, awesome technology. We spent a lot of money upgrading their services, so I encourage you to look at Bellin College. After I was with Bellin College for about 3 years as a director of technology, more of a hands-on director of technology. I had the network administration background, and then also did board meetings, manage budget, manage their IT as a whole. It was a good stepping stone for me to get management experience while still using my technical skills. Shortly after that, in about 3 years, my IT consulting business was still going, and actually was growing at a pace that I needed to make a decision whether I was going to stay in a management role at a place, at a facility or a business, or start really putting my time towards the IT consulting business. I didn't have to make that decision, because Kerber Rose ended up approaching me and saying, "Hey, we know you've been doing IT consulting in this area. We want to grow our technology firm, and would you want to come on board with us?" So was a pretty short decision, came on board with Kerber Rose, sold my IT consulting business to them, and started as a CTO for both Kerber Rose SC and Kerber Rose Technology with my client base. Next slide, please, Lynn. So what does a day in the life of a CTO look like? You know, when I look at it, a CTO is really, even though it's an executive position, I look at it as maybe as a business decision maker. We sit at the table with the shareholders in what are called shareholders in our company, owners in other companies. Our job is to steer the technology for that company and make sure that it's aligned with business initiatives, that the companies are making money, that the technology is not holding them back, basically. So with Kerber Rose, my internal position with Kerber Rose, the accounting firm, I roadmap technology. So that means I plan out what technology is now and what technology is going to look like in 3 to 5 years from now. That's one of my main responsibilities, and that's not something you roadmap and then walk away. I am probably visiting that every month to make sure that we are still staying in the right path. I mean, there's even right now is tax season, so it's a busy time for us. We currently have over 200 employees at our 13 offices. So we are, you know, as we grew fast. There are things after tax season that I will be adjusting in our roadmap already because, you know, technology, software changes, our capacity needs to be adjusted. I also manage all the technology for all 13 offices. So just as Peter and Brian talked about, you know, the software, the hardware, that means computers, laptops, firewalls, internet connection at each site, making sure connectivity is correct and our uptime is high. And then also the budget and that goes along with that. And then once like I hit on it, I love meetings. That's what got me into these positions. And I'm gonna go along with Brian on this. And I know Peter hit on it, is communication is key. What got me to where I'm at now is not because I'm 10 times smarter than somebody else. It's because generally I can explain complex technology solutions to people that do not understand technology at all. And that's what's going to get you if you want to be in a management level, or it's going to get you to move up, you know, 5 times faster than somebody that just does not talk at all and just does their work. So I love internal meetings. I'm head of all the IT steering committees. That steering committees means that people within the organization, different parts of the firm, sit down and talk about what technology is working, what technology is not working, what they would like to see, and how we go about implementing it. And then I take those initiatives and put it into that technology roadmap once again. From a Kerber Rose technology standpoint, I know Peter hit on the managed services and such, so I don't want to spend too much time, but I create technology solutions for clients and then sell them as products. Obviously that's our job is to make profit and to give our clients good solutions that make them more efficient and more productive. I'm in charge of all the business development, which is essentially the sales, client satisfaction, profitability, etc. All of our IT staff at Kerber Rose is actually held under our Kerber Rose technology firm, which then supports Kerber Rose, the tax and accounting. So under Kerber Rose technology, I manage all of our engineers, network administrators, IT support staff, and admin staff. I make sure that their development, that's big. And I know, I'm sure Peter deals with this a lot too, is you want to develop. We're working on developing our staff in the technology field so that they can move up as they want in different roles, keep building our business and not having to constantly just hire more and more people. We can hire within or promote within and then hire at a lower level. That's really our goals. And then obviously working, one of the big things is relationships with vendors. I'm constantly working with outside vendors. Examples would be HP, Dell, Microsoft, those type of vendors to create relationships so that we can use their solutions in our solutions for the clients. So next slide, please. So some advice. I know this conversation is geared towards that high school level, and I wanted to reiterate. I think Brian hit on it too. Is you know, you might be really interested in in technology, but you're just not sure where you fit in technology, you know, what you want to do. And we wouldn't expect in high school. I didn't know in high school where I wanted to be. I just thought it was cool to go play video games and break things on a computer and fix them and see it fire back up and, you know, working again. That was cool to me. I was just trying new things. So I tell people, try everything. Try coding, programming, see if you like it. That was something that I thought I would love. I guess it just doesn't fit my, you know, my attitude, and sitting there and coding is just, it is my thing. But it might be yours. So try that, you know, try break fix on computers. Try different classes online that teach you about computer networking. Obviously, I'm very heavy into the networking side of technology. So I encourage everybody to try the different solutions. It'll help you to funnel you to the right direction of where you think you really enjoy working. Secondly, and this is what I hit on earlier, is intern and volunteers. And I'm sure Lynn can back me up on this, there's a ton of internships through school districts, townships, cities, I should say counties, cities, even businesses. I've seen a bigger influx in intern programs with businesses and wanting to bring in entry-level IT people so that they can start working with them ahead of time and maybe hire them on after their internship is done. Also volunteer. You can volunteer at, you know, if you're part of a private school, a church, you know, different nonprofit organizations. They're always looking for help. And then also, obviously, if you know somebody in the IT field and you can volunteer to help them out in some way or capacity. I felt I worked and learned the most with hands-on experience. Education is fundamental. You need the basics, but hands-on is, you can't replace it. So some certifications that I thought, you know, I'd just bring up. Doesn't mean in high school you're going to necessarily get these certifications. The first you might be able to, it is CompTIA A+. We always look for, when we're hiring somebody, we're looking for somebody that has the basics, the foundation of understanding computers. If it's network position, computer networking, the A+ certification starts to give you that foundation, and we can kind of see, you know, this person understands the basics of computer and computer languages. CompTIA Network Plus is kind of that next step when you get into, you know, maybe your first or second year of college. You're starting to understand IP addressing, so some of the networking jargon. I encourage you to get something similar to a CompTIA Network Plus certification, showing that you have an understanding of both, you know, IT, how it works, the security around it, and then it just makes your resume a lot more solid. And then also, I wanted to hit on, you know, cloud solutions. Even though you're in high school and you're not really there yet, I think it's important to be looking at cloud solutions and the certifications that go around cloud solutions. That's Amazon Web Services, that's Microsoft Azure, that's Google cloud solutions. These are all things, I mean, you look at the Fortune 500, 95% of the Fortune 500 have moved some sort of their infrastructure to a cloud-based solution. So those type of certifications, from an earning standpoint and from longevity, I think we're going to see a lot of our networking type of certifications move also alongside with those cloud solutions. So please keep an eye out and for those cloud solution certifications. Sorry. And then cybersecurity. One thing I wanted to hit on is, because we do get, and I know Peter hit on cybersecurity a little bit, but we do get a lot of applicants with cybersecurity educational background. But what I want them to understand is it is important to get those certifications, but really look at what you're going to be doing with your cybersecurity education. And it is great to get a baseline in the computer networking world before you really finish your cybersecurity certification. That's why I have it highlighted in red. To me, I've dealt with a couple of, we actually have one hired with us that works with us that had a cybersecurity degree before he actually went and got his networking degree. And I think if that was flip-flopped and you got the fundamentals first and then got some experience and then get into the cybersecurity, cybersecurity takes a decent amount of time to understand and manage. So that leads me to my next point. Understand it takes time. there's no, I know I talked to a lot of younger students in my area, and I think they have the perspective that they're going to get a degree and come out and be, you know, be making all sorts of money and have this awesome position. And there are a few that are going to do that because there's some very intelligent IT minds out there at a young age. But understand, to perfect your craft, it takes a lot of time. Put the work in. Understand, once you know where you want to go, really spend every last hour you have learning every individual piece of what you're trying to learn. Because if you can perfect your craft, you can use what you've learned in all different capacities, and it's going to move you on to your next job and your next certification and your next learning. And that leads me to keep learning. Don't stop what you're doing. Don't get comfortable where you're at. Technology is ever changing. Every day something changes. So just keep learning, keep your eyes open to where those trends are in technology, and make sure that once you find what you like, follow those trends and keep learning in that capacity. So thanks a lot, Lynn. And that's all I had for right now.
All right. So I don't think that I've ever had anybody say that their favorite thing about their job is that they love meetings, but I'm right there with you. I do too.
I'm a little weird like that. Yes.
So talk to me a little bit about there's kind of a disconnect for me between an accounting and tax firm and having a technology company as part of them. So, why would an accounting and tax company make that decision?
So it's similar to the wealth division. So if you look at it from a Kerber Rose perspective, they have, let's say, I think we have close to 10,000 clients. We already have IT that are in-house supporting their IT services, giving them a lot of what they already have. Basically, what we have to do is grow our IT team a little bit bigger, and then start selling those solutions to that client base that they have. So that's really, it's driven by giving them an increase in IT staff and knowledge in-house at Kerber Rose without costing them as much money, and then also driving profit for the firm. There's, especially in like the Shawano and some of the areas that we've been in a long time, we have a good market share in the accounting side of things. So they need to find other avenues to keep that profitability moving in the right direction. And that's where, wealth management was added, technology was added. It's really just another driver for profit, and then obviously bring the expertise in-house from an IT standpoint.
Great.
That makes sense.
Yeah, it absolutely does. I many years ago, I originally went to college for accounting, and that was back before there was really technology around any of this. So yeah, that does actually make a lot of sense that the two are really closely connected. You talked about that roadmap and how you come back to it constantly during the year to make sure you're on track. Obviously, you couldn't have had a roadmap for COVID. So how were you able to navigate that?
Yeah, so COVID was a learning experience. Luckily, we had implemented solutions that allowed us to work from home. The hardest part for us was our multiple locations. We had, at the time, I think we had 11 locations, with some of our locations being in remote areas. So that was probably, from an internet and connectivity standpoint, was our biggest issue that we had. We had the solutions like Microsoft Teams implemented. We had our phone systems in place. If most people are used to working from home, because we do have a Citrix environment, which is a remote access environment where they can run apps from wherever they are in the world. It doesn't matter. So our infrastructure and our technology was there. The little things are what gave us little hiccups there. I would say our transition went very smoothly. Within when we heard about it, we held off a little bit, thinking we're not sure how serious this is. As soon as we knew that it was serious, I was in a room with our CEO and all the main players in the company to say, how are we going to go about this? Within a week, we had all of our offices and a plan to go with it, starting to transition to offsite. We had people working from home. the only area, like I said, that we suffered, we have offices like in Rhinelander, Wisconsin, and different areas where it's a little bit remote and your internet connectivity is not the greatest. So some of those we had to figure out solutions for. But other than that, I was thankful that we had a Microsoft Teams environment in place, and the transition went really smoothly.
Great. Meg, do you have any questions?
I don't have anything specific, but I do want to highlight, I really appreciate you talking about internships and getting that real world experience, because it is a lot different than what you're learning in a book.
Yeah.
Between that and applying it.
Yeah, there's a huge difference, and I'm more hands-on, so I didn't learn as much out of a book as I did on site, configuring servers and switches and such. I mean, that's where you learn. And yeah, I feel like those internships are invaluable. It gives you so much experience, even if that's not the avenue you take long term, it still helps you out.
Yeah. And if you're a student that's interested in IT, check with your district's IT coordinator, because I don't know many districts that don't make use of students either during the summer or during the school year to be part of that team.